Warning, the following video may contain adult language and themes. Your discretion is strongly advised. If you have a problem with this, stop playing this video now. I just got done watching a weird horror movie from the 80s. It's called Elves, and it was released in 1989, and wow, it's rated PG-13, which is kind of surprising to me. Really? That was rated PG-13? That's really surprising to me. It was 89 minutes. It was written and directed by Jeffrey Mandel. Nobody knows who that is. And it stars Dan Haggerty. I think he's kind of famous. Julie Austin and Deanna Lund and a whole bunch of people who on Internet Movie Database don't even have a profile picture. So that goes just to show you how famous the people were in this. But I'm really confused as to how I feel about this horror movie. It's about Christmas, obviously, hence the title Elves. It takes place during Christmas, and I'm confused as to whether this is a hidden gem or a piece of shit. How would I describe it? I would describe it as a spoof on 80s horror movies, but it was made in the 80s. Which is really odd, you know what I mean? It's almost like it's self-aware, you know what I mean? It'd be like if an 80s movies, if an 80s slasher movie was parodying 80s slashers, which I guess they do have ones like that. See my Student Bodies review. But this one is more subtle, and you know, I'm not even sure if that's what it was going for, but that's what it kind of, what the result is. Basically, this is about a young girl named Kirsten, who is your typical teenager. You know, they show her going out with her two friends, I don't even know their names, going out, you know, doing this like little ritual they want to become blood sisters or something, and through some weird thing when they're out in the forest, they like Kirsten accidentally cuts herself, I think, and like her blood seeps on the ground, and it makes this, and they like leave or something, and they go back home, and it makes this demonic 2-foot elf rise from the ground or something. just cause. I mean, I don't think they were even doing a ritual or anything. A official ritual. It just made this elf rise from the ground. Basically, this elf goes around like just killing people, and it's like the worst. It's so bad. This movie's almost so bad it's good, in my opinion. It's almost like a. I haven't seen Troll 2, but this is what I kind of imagine Troll 2 to be. I need to watch Troll 2. But anyway, that's what this movie's almost so bad it's good. Like, the puppeteering of the elf, the killer elf, is just terrible. I mean, it's so bad. I watched this movie in low res, and it looked terrible. Like, so basically, Kirsten goes back home, and she gets in trouble with her grandfather, who's like this old man in a wheelchair, and she has a mom who's like smoking hot, and she's like, apparently she had Kirsten when she was like 16 or something, and she has a little brother, and like, her mom is just fucked up. Like, her mom just like, she to punish Kirsten for staying out late, she like takes her savings account and just takes it, you know. And she also like kills Kirsten's cat. She drowns her cat in the toilet. I mean, this mother is just so hideous that she's almost like a caricature. Like, I don't even remember the evil stepmother in Cinderella being this bad. And so it's just hilarious. Like, and Kirsten, like, and her grandfather, she lives with her, like I said, her grandfather, her evil mother, her brother. That's who she lives with. And so she goes to work at this mall, and like, you know, she's a waitress and stuff, and she works for this asshole and stuff. So I'm gonna get in kind of spoilers now, but like, the elf like follows her around and is like staying hidden and stuff throughout most of the movie, and is just killing people off at random. And like, it turns, and I'm gonna get into spoilers now, but it's like a ridiculous plot. It turns out like her grandfather was a Nazi, and her grandfather had sex with her mother. So her grandfather had sex with his daughter to produce her, Kirsten, to like keep the bloodline pure or something. They never said where her brother came from, so I'm assuming that her brother didn't come from her grandfather. But like, and so like, there's this conspiracy with Nazis or something where the elf is going to impregnate her to create the master race of super elves. It's hilariously bad. Like, and there's this other side character who's played by the Haggerty guy. what's his name? I think the Haggerty's guy is kind of famous. Dan Haggerty. I think he's kind of famous, but he plays like this. He's like this bum at first, but then he gets a job as Santa Claus, and he befriends Kirsten at the mall because they work at the same place and stuff. And he like gets wrapped up in the adventure, and he's like trying to solve the mystery. It's like and like these Nazis are trying to kidnap Kirsten and protect her so the elf can have sex with her and have the master race babies. And Haggerty's trying to figure it out. He's playing detective, and it's just weird. This movie's just fucked up. But like, let me break down the quality of this movie. I'm not gonna spoil it, how it ends and what happens, but I'm not spoiling it completely. But basically, how I would sum it up: the first half of this movie is really good. It's really fun schlock, really tongue-in-cheek, funny stuff. Like, there's one scene where like, where like, where like Kirsten's talking with one of her friends, and she's like, like, well, what? And her friend's like, well, what do you do if your boyfriend wants to have sex and you don't want to? And then Kirsten says, just say no. That always works. Or it's some hilarious line like that. It's just, I mean, I don't know, just the way they delivered it. You'll have to watch it to really get the full effect, but just the way they deliver it is hilarious. The first half of this movie, in my opinion, is just gold. It's like so it's like so self-unaware comedy gold. Slasher horror movie, like, combined with Christmas. Like, it's probably not on the level of Silent Night Deadly Night 2, but it's pretty comedy gold. But then halfway through the movie, it sort of tries to play it straight. Like once Dan Haggerty, or whatever the fuck his character's name is, they call him Santa, when he starts trying to investigate this whole Nazi conspiracy, it kind of loses its punch, because it tries to play it straight, and he like goes around just investigating, asking like professors questions, and just playing detective, and it just gets kind of bad at that point. So I guess at least half of it's really good. So yeah, that's how I would sum it up. It's a very unknown movie, I think. Not many people know about this movie. Again, it's called Elves, and it was released in 1989. And the only copy I was able to get was on VHS. I don't even think it was released on DVD. So yeah, overall, I'd probably give this a 6.7, around there. I mean, because I thought the first half of it was just golden. Like, I'd probably give it a 7 if it maintained that standard of quality, but it just drops off in the second half. So I get a 6.5, 6.7, sorry, 6.7 out of 10. Check it out, but don't be surprised when you lose interest halfway through. Anyway, take it easy. Bye.